Good day, good afternoon. Blessed this afternoon to come to you once again. It's a good Wednesday that the Lord has made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it. I want us to talk about waiting patiently, and I know waiting has been a process that each and every one of us has gone through because waiting is a matter of time, and all of us have been given 24 hours, 7 days in a week, a whole year, all of us, as in that's the equality with everyone. But sometimes time can prove like it's taking years for some and others at a shorter time. And waiting is never easy. In fact, it can be very, very frustrating to wait. And especially when you're waiting on something and you're not seeing any progress, we tend to lose hope. Waiting can be a way that brings a lot of anxiety in anyone's life. It can also bring a lot of frustration, as I've said. It can also bring a lot of agony. It can bring a lot of, stress and anxiety that couples all that. And one is expected to cope with all these emotions, with all those thoughts, with all those changes. And it can also make you, lose focus on God, lose focus on the things that you're waiting for. And I thought it is good that we probably delve into it and ask ourselves, how do we deal or how do we handle ourselves in the waiting season? And all of us have seasons in life, you know, just the same way globally. You have the winter season, there's a fall season, there's a spring season, and all that. So there are seasons in life, and waiting can prove to be very, very hard. And especially if your mentor is not aligned to your spiritual, is not aligned to your physical, it can bring a lot of disarray. So I thought probably we can ask ourselves, how do we deal with such a season in our lives? And it could be you're waiting probably to get a child. What do I need to do during that waiting season? And it can be very frustrating, as I have said. So do what you can. Accept that you can only handle much. Probably waiting for a job. Probably you're waiting to get into a relationship. Probably you're waiting for a change even in your business or even in your child to change, or even probably a career prospect somewhere or a job. Various seasons of waiting. Maybe you're also waiting to get well because you're sick and you're wondering, when shall this pain come to pass and end in my life? Waiting can be very, very traumatizing. And we are required to just accept that there's only much that you can handle. And also work on our thoughts, work on our emotions, be alert. What are these things that pull me down? Take charge of your thoughts. Always overcome. If it is one negative thought, have two positive thoughts about the circumstance that you're going through. Then acknowledge that all of us are here on earth. We are bound to pass through various temptations. We are bound to go through various painful moments, because if Jesus went through the same thing, who are we not to go through the same circumstances? So in those waiting seasons, trust in the God of the process, because when you between the promise and when it comes to fulfillment, there is a process. And that one we have to accept that there is a process. The same way we go, a farmer prunes, they prune probably the coffee. I saw when we were growing up, there were seasons for pruning. There were seasons for harvesting. There were seasons for putting manure. There were seasons for, waiting for the rainy season and all that. So the waiting season requires you to do something about it. So don't just get stuck. Allow yourself to ask yourself, what's the other option that I have for me to progress in this matter? So in your waiting season, do something that will actually distract your way probably of doing something that could be harmful. Don't get engaged in a bad habit. Engage in something that will actually edify you. You could read even that book. You could go to the website. Nowadays, there are so many things that we can tap from the website and the social media to actually help us grow in a certain area. So do not be anxious about anything, but by prayer and supplication, make your request known to God. Even in those anxious moments, when you are feeling all signals for me to be stressed out, trust in the God of the process. Trust Him that He will make it come to fulfillment. He says in Isaiah 41 that he knows the end from the beginning. If he's Alpha and Omega, and probably if it's an A to Z, you could be in your K, you could be in your P or your S, between A to Z, that process, trust God of the process. Trust him to shape you. Trust him to prune you, not only in the joys and in the times that you're happy, even in those low moments. He says in his word that he's still the God of the mountain, and the God of the valley. So those seasons, allow God to shape you. Allow positivity to take charge. Do not be anxious. Allow yourself to be aligned to God's will, because whether it tarries, it will one day come to pass. Sometimes we get anxious because we tend to compare ourselves with others. Probably somebody just finished school and they got a job, and somebody else has been in the waiting season. You have tarmacked for so long, and you feel like God has forsaken you or has left you. The same God of that person, when we read about David, that after he had served his generation, he rested with his forefathers. Who knows? There are people who used to live hundreds of years, and you're competing with somebody who's probably God's plan is for them to live just for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and all that. So trust God for your timing. You are not a photocopy. You are an original in God's master plan. And if he started a good work in you, he will bring it to pass. He will allow you. You will not be tempted beyond something that you are able to bear. So even in that state, as a human being, take care of your emotions. Take care of your thoughts. Take care of your physical body. Allow them to be balanced in God's timing. And when you have done all that, you'll be able to withstand the wiles of this world. You'll be able to trust God more. You'll be able to put your hope alive and just to know that God is in charge and he's the author and the finisher of your faith. So may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you and have a blessed week as it comes to an end. Thank you. God bless you.